Welcome to this week's Mojo Boost, everyone. I'm Cindy Kennedy, and I am here to ensure that you stay inspired, connected, and grounded so you can thrive in your life. Are you a finisher? Big question to ask. A few weeks ago, I talked about the importance of starting before you're ready. And now I'm taking you to the other end. Do you finish what you start? It's so absolutely crucial that we do. Now, I'm saying this because, let me tell you, this is something I have had to work on myself for my entire life, is the ability to really complete and follow through. And so I share this with you deeply from my own experience of understanding how sometimes it can be very challenging, but also the absolute beauty that shows up within ourselves and around us when we finish what we start. So what do we get when we actually finish what we start? Well, we get a sense of accomplishment. I mean, can you imagine being able to give birth to something in the world and go, wow, look at it take its own breath and look at the life that it's creating. That feels amazing, and you're buoyed with that. The next thing we get is we get that full sense of completion. And that is pivotal for us, because if not, we always feel like something is kind of missing. And that's where we start to leak our energy. And in fact, my very first Mojo Boost, I spoke about leaking energy, and it's so important that we don't leak our energy, that we use all of our energy in the areas of our lives that we really want to focus on. So coming to completion is crucial. Just think of how many times you or someone else you know hasn't been able to come to full completion in a relationship, right? And you struggle. You struggle to find the answers, or why you broke up, or the chance to be able to honor and cherish each other and share what you learned and how you've developed as a person through the relationship. If not, you've got to find completion on your own, and you can do it. It's just that much more challenging. So finishing what you start gives you completion as well. And lastly, completing something allows you to stay in full integrity. There's nothing worse than not being true to your word or true to your commitments to others and to yourself. Okay, so we know this. We know this. But why do we sometimes find finishing difficult? Well, sometimes, if you're like me, you're a big idea person. And suddenly the next big idea comes, you get so excited that you kind of get into that and you want to just put life and energy into that. But then another big shiny thing comes over here and like, oh my God, it'd be so cool to do that as well. If you're idea people, this is so important to know, because we can get constantly caught up in ideas, but never find completion. If that's you, sometimes it's simply staying the ground and trusting that those other ideas aren't going to go. Or it's building a team around you to help get that idea out the door, give birth to it while you're working on something else. So that's one. Possibly you're an idea person, right? The other one is that you may be a little bit of an approval-holic and be taking on too much. You don't know how to say no to people. And so you're taking on without being able to stay true to your word and your commitment, which kind of creates that internal beating up inside that goes on in your heart and in your mind. Or you just don't know how to delegate. You need to learn how to delegate. Get others to take care of certain things so you focus on following through. My dog's sitting here right beside me, so I had to give him a little pet. The other way is that potentially you just do not know how to ask for help. And so that could be it as well. You want to follow through, but you don't actually know exactly how to. Or you suddenly found out you've gotten to a certain place and you don't know where to go with it. You need to learn to ask for help. Those are some of the key reasons why most of us do not follow through or completely finish things or have multiple projects on the go. So how do we change it? Well, I'm going to give you two ways, very simple ways to start, but it will start to create momentum. And you will start to create a different story in your mind. Because the more that we do not finish, the more we leave uncompleted, the more we start to believe the story that we don't follow through, that you are not a finisher. And that will cut you off at your knees. And then you'll suddenly develop a fear. And that's why people always say, you fall off the horse, get back on up. The last thing you want to do is create this big fear or this story that you do not finish what you start. So, first thing, find the smallest little places in your life, in your day-to-day life, where you can finish. Example, you're at a grocery store. You've picked up an item and you suddenly realize when you're in aisle 9 that you don't need it anymore, or this actual item looks way better. So you pull the new item in, take the old item, and I'll just put it back here. The store stalkers can actually put it in the right place. No, that's not coming to full completion. There's an integrity thing that goes on within you when you do that. It's the same thing as walking past garbage and you see it and you notice it, but you walk by anyways. That's an opportunity to come to completion with something that's come in your path. All the small little things that we sometimes just go, no big deal. Like I used to never put the toilet paper, a new toilet paper roll, on the roll or on the toilet paper holder. I didn't care. One of my roommates when I was 19 honestly went ballistic on me one night. And I couldn't figure out why until she finally said it was because I didn't put the toilet paper on the toilet paper holder. But while to me that was no big deal, and to her it was, there was something about just that simple follow through. So it might sound crazy, but it's the little things that they give you momentum and you start to build a new story and you start to look at ways to follow through. Secondly, make a list right now of all the things that you haven't followed through with, things that you have not finished. You started, but you didn't finish. That could simply be, listen, I asked this one friend ages ago, let's get together for a coffee. Gosh, I've got one right now, now on my list. We were going to make this raw lasagna together and try it out. How many times have I said that I'm actually going to call her and book a date, and I haven't? It doesn't matter whether she has or hasn't, it's about me following through. So write a list of big and small things that you started, but you haven't finished. And I want you to choose one this week, knowing that I'm here, and so is everyone else in the Mojo community, sending you energy and commitment to follow through. And you'll cycle through this and go, well, what is it that I need to follow through on this? Is it just picking up the phone and doing it? Like really, just get real, do it? Is it creating space in my schedule? Creating space, personal space, or work space, strategic time in my work schedule to do things? Do I need to ask for help? Do I need to say no to certain things? When you go through your list, some of your own patterns will show up, and that is brilliant. That's going to just go, that is where you need to hone in. Because you are a finisher. And you've got too much to offer the world to not finish what you start. I'll see you next week. Can't wait to hear about all the little things that you've finished. See you later.